LaVar Ball, your favorite person's favorite person, was in a recent video, or he was in a stream with Neon, kind of going over what's life been like. It's been some years since he's been in the spotlight, specifically with Lonzo Ball and that whole thing. But in this specific clip, he talks about how him and Tina are finally divorced. Now, I'm going to show you this quick clip. Obviously, it doesn't seem super sad, but it is very disappointing how he talks about the situation with him and Tina.
With my wife, who Tina decided to go her own way. That's why you don't see her right here. But she want to go do something else, that's fine with me. We had our run. So even though she had the stroke and getting older, she would never be like, oh man, she was always beautiful in my eyes until you say, I want to go do something else.
Yeah.
Now you're not as beautiful to me again. And the fact that if you decide to go this way, I'm going to go that way, that's fine.
That's deep.
It is what it is, man. And like I said, anytime you can find somebody you can stay in love with for a long time, or for one day or whatever, if you can witness that love, that's good. I had that with her. And I found somebody else, but it is what it is.
Wait, who?
No need to worry. And you know
Sorry.
what?
Now, a couple thoughts. If you've ever followed the Ball family, either now or years before, I think they even had a show at one point. But you know that Tina Ball had a stroke, and it was a very severe stroke. It was life or death situation there. And so he helped her out tremendously throughout that process. And I thought when she was going through that, I was like, wow, man, he's a really good husband, good father during that whole process, still being able to take care of the Ball brothers there too. So he was being a very good family man there and really taking care of Tina in that situation where she really needed the help. Like, it was bad. Like, if I were you, I would go back to those videos where it wasn't looking good. And then so that was like 8 years ago, something like that. That was years ago, right? And so most recently, I believe the last couple years, LaVar Ball had his leg amputated. Maybe not his leg. I think it was his foot was amputated. And so he was going through that struggle. So I guess when you have your leg amputated, maybe you can't do things in the bed that you're normally doing. Maybe. I'm not sure. I have both of my legs, so I wouldn't know. But around that time, I guess she said, I need to explore other options. I need to spread my wings and find other men. I guess that's what happened, because in a other interview, she has been seen with another guy, and so obviously a younger looking guy, and so I guess she moved on super quick. A lot of women don't realize what their husband has done for them in the past. She only thinks, what can LaVar Ball do right now at this very moment? And I guess it wasn't enough. I guess she forgot that LaVar Ball took care of her at her weakest point when she had a stroke. And I guess she didn't give a fuck. She didn't give a fuck. I guarantee you the Ball brothers are probably taking her side. Maybe not. Who knows? I mean, LaVar at the end of the day was a big reason why they made it, Lonzo to the league. He's been struggling in the league, but he made it. LaMelo having a lot of success, maybe not team success, but financial success in the league. LiAngelo, he sang that one song that made waves at the time about a year ago. So they're all having some sort of success in one way, shape, or form. But LaVar Ball was a big piece of why they became that way, through just a tremendous amount of work ethic when they were younger. And it's unfortunate what has happened, because Tina basically just disregarded all of what he did when she had that stroke, and essentially just kicked him to the curb, and is now with this new dude who, I don't know, I guess. I mean, it just sucks for LaVar. It just really sucks. I think this gets to a bigger point to all the men, that it doesn't matter what you have done in the past. It's about what you are currently doing present time right now. And it's no fault to your own. If you're not giving her the right emotions, the right things, the right ingredients right now, Whatever you have done in the past, whether that's bringing children into her life, whether that's buying her a new house, building a new house, doing all these things that you've done in the past that you think she's gonna tally up all the points that you've done to her and she's gonna think, oh wow, I shouldn't leave you just because you amputate your foot, then you are very mistaken. Women have this midlife crisis around Tina's age, 50 something, where they're like, okay, I lived 20, 30 years and he's not making me feel right at this point in time. And that's what happens to a lot of marriages, unfortunately. And that's why I'm a big proponent of marriages not being a thing. You shouldn't get married as a guy. It doesn't make sense because marriage is based on like an appreciation, in my opinion, of everything you've done in that marriage and seeing that and staying married, not from the standpoint where, okay, you're not doing exactly what I need you to do at this point in time, which guys, like as men, we get older over time. We're not able to do the same things that we used to do when we were younger. And so I feel like men, we appreciate, okay, you're older. However, I can appreciate what you've done in the past, and I get it, you're older, you can't do the same certain things you used to do. I can appreciate that, but women can't seem to do the same thing. They only want instant gratification, a lot like children, where if you're not getting instant gratification, you look elsewhere. That's the whole thing. It's just they kind of think like an 8-year-old in a lot of ways. They're not getting instant gratification. Okay, fuck you. Let me find it somewhere else. And LaVar Ball is finding out the hard way here. I am surprised this didn't become news when it happened. I guess LaVar Ball was speaking as if this was a matter of fact, like it already happened way in the past and he's moved on, which, you know, he's a successful man. He should be able to move on, find someone else, and it shouldn't be hard for him to find another woman. He just finds it flabbergasted that he did all this just for this to be the result. It's very disheartening for him. I don't know if the kids feel the same way. Who knows if they're on Tina's side or they're on LaVar's side. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. But don't be mistaken. This is a lot of people's realities. You know, just kind of open your eyes to other sort of marriages that are in the 20, 30, 40 years. This is the result that most of them eventually get to. So, like I said, a microcosm of what's actually going on in the world, what's actually going on in marriages. And again, you have an endorsement from me to never get married.